Hey everybody, welcome back to Rugby Wrap-Up, and thank you once again for joining us on this week's Zack Attack, the big play breakdown. One play analyzed by Zack Lanning, the pride of Holy Cross Rugby. Zack, welcome back. We're going to skip the pleasantries and get right to what you got for us. Go ahead.
You got it, Matt. I would just say that I think Kevin Swords would have something to say about me being the pride of Holy Cross Rugby, but we could discuss that at a later date. I'll get right into it this week. I want to break down a play from Rugby ATL versus the New England Free Jacks. That was a great game on the weekend. I thought Rugby ATL is doing a great job of kind of improving their offense throughout the season, and they're really a threat now in the East and the MLR as a whole. So it's about midway through the first half, and Rugby ATL is up 5-3.
Yeah, they were up 5-3 after that 2-run double in the gap.
Yeah, wrong sport, Matt, but similar, I guess. We'll head back to rugby now, though.
Okay, move on. We will go right ahead.
Right, you got it, Matt. So as I was saying, Rugby ATL was in the lead at this point. And I also wanted to note for this game, Rugby ATL was dominating the territory battle, which is something they did all game, ending with a 58% to 42% advantage over the Free Jacks in that category. The set piece was another area of dominance for the Rattlers, Matt. They won 11 of their own lineouts while stealing seven from New England. And it certainly didn't help that the Free Jacks had some issues with their throw-ins, especially to the back of the lineout, but ATL's jumpers made themselves nuisances really all game. Here, Atlanta successfully takes their own lineout with the throw perhaps a little off-center, but no call from referee Mike Lash, and then the transition flawlessly into a driving maul. Now, New England's forward pack is extremely physical, Matt, and they defend these types of mauls well, but you can see that ATL is so tightly packed and together here that Free Jacks begin to slide off the sides, and they have a lot of trouble stopping the forward momentum. Their only recourse really is to collapse it, which draws a penalty and gives the Rattlers advantage now as well. After the maul collapses, Atlanta looks to get the ball out to their backline. They go first to their powerful outside center, Mark O'Keefe, who's been running really well for them all season with 13 line breaks, 29 tackle breaks, and 5 tries in 6 games this season. They send O'Keefe directly at New England fly half Harrison Boyle to try and exploit that 10 channel, but Boyle stays strong with assists from Captain Josh Larson and hooker Peter Jansen, who's even close to stealing the ball here, but can't get it back to his side in the ruck. And now the Free Jacks were really aware of O'Keefe's ability to wreck games, so they came in and devoted a lot of attention to him throughout the game, really able to keep him under wraps until they received their 2 yellow cards in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, he did score a great try up the gut, and it's shocking because he's got that shocking head of hair right now, so how they don't see him is mind-boggling, but the Free Jacks did have 2 guys in the penalty box for roughing.
Yeah, wrong sport again, Matt. We'll try and stick with rugby on this one.
Okay, let's move on. Take it away.
That was actually one of my favorite parts of the game as well, the dueling 13 bleach blonde hairs of Dougie Fife and Mark O'Keefe. But yeah, it's tough for the Free Jacks to keep a hat on O'Keefe when they're already struggling to just cover the 15 men on the field.
I see what you did there. We're talking hair and you said hat. Good stuff. And the 2 of us know a lot about both subjects. Keep going.
So after O'Keefe fails to break through the line, Atlanta tries another crash ball to the left with a forward pod and then set up like they're going to go again. But fly half Adrian Carlsa had mixed himself in with the forward pod here, and upon receipt of the flat pass from scrum half Ryan Reese, he does a great job to first commit the defenders and then put a beautiful grubber into the space behind the Free Jacks defensive line. Now, Carlsa had a lot of other options here, but it seems that Atlanta had come into this game with an increased emphasis on these kinds of kicks because they're a great way to circumvent the intense defensive pressure applied by New England. And Matt, these kicks don't always work out, especially on a turf field like this because of the unpredictable bounce of the ball. But the fact that they had a penalty advantage here, meaning they would retain possession regardless, combined with the fact that they have a lot of time to obviously practice these kicks on their home turf, made this the right decision for Carlsa in the moment.
Is it regardless or irregardless, Holy Cross?
That would be regardless. Irregardless, Matt, in fact, not a word in the English language. So.
You are good. You just got more attractive to me than you've ever been, and that's hard to do. Continue.
And as I said, this decision paid off with winger Tarangatira Waitokia chasing it down and expertly leaping away from the defenders to touch the ball down cleanly. And this is a really huge win for Rugby ATL, Matt, who leapfrogged Rugby United New York and NOLA Gold to take the top spot in the East table. And as I mentioned at the beginning, they've really improved their offensive game as the season's gone along, and they've made themselves into a really dangerous team behind only the Giltinis and the Gilgronis at this point in the entire MLR.
Yeah, they are a very impressive team. They have improved every week, and they're somebody to behold in the East. What else you got for us?
Just to note, Matt, that both of these teams are made up pretty similarly. They play similar styles of rugby. They're both very physical. That was on display throughout the entire game. It was really closer than it looked. Again, at the end, it was really those 2 yellow cards that doomed the Free Jacks. But they both play a very physical, intense style of defense. Rugby ATL was able to come up with this, successful tactic of kind of kicking through, which put New England on their heels, and that led to, their victory at the end. And also just, shout out again to Adrian Carlsa playing his first game at fly half for the Rattlers in this one. He looked excellent coming up from his normal fullback position. He had the kicking game on pat. He made a lot of great decisions, and so this was a great game to watch.
He is a great player. What's your checking account number?
I'm more of like a fly-by-night guy, Matt. I don't really keep my money in any sort of traditional bank.
All right, that was the second test that you passed, because usually you answer questions when you're on camera and you don't really think about what you're talking about. But good on you. You got irregardless, and you didn't give me a checking number. Final thought?
The set piece for Atlanta, again, Matt, like I mentioned earlier, was a huge thing for them in this game as well. It wasn't just the lineouts they stole. You'll see later in the game, their scrummaging was impressive. That's what led to one of the 2 yellow cards. They just dominated, driving that New England Free Jacks pack backwards, which is not an easy task. So, if they continue to keep up this set piece dominance with dangerous runners in the center line, like Petzer and O'Keefe, a lot of playmaking ability on the wings and at fly half. Again, they're going to be a really dangerous team going forward.
And Petzer's tactical kicking in this match was a key component to the victory too. All right, my friend, thank you for another stellar Zack Attack, big play breakdown, one play broken down. And thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, and please come back next week. But in the meantime, check out our other segments, including our Major League Rugby show, our Global Rugby Recap, What Are the Odds?, our Major League Rugby Sports Bet show with the Philly Godfather, John Bradshaw Layfield, the WWE legend, and Gifty Bailu, martial law. And please sign up for our American Red Cross Rugby Wrap-Up Blood Donor Team.